Hey, it's still bass season over here at New Perspectives Music, and let's finish up those 5-string basses that I started a few weeks back. In the first video, I showed a little bit about how I designed and CNC cut out the parts to make these instruments, but now we're going to finish them. So in the previous video, I had started sanding them, and I didn't film a bunch of sanding because, it's kind of boring, but I have sanded this up to about 400 grit, and now I'm just applying a little bit of linseed oil to really give it that natural look. But on this one, I decided to add some color, so I used some water-based stain made from Lockwood's Black and then sanded it out to give it that sort of aged look. I thought that looked pretty cool because the wood itself wasn't as interesting to look at as the other one, just being a butcher block tabletop that I cut it from. While I've been making the Lutz bass as a 4-string for a long time, this is my first 5-string, so I just added that Roman numeral 5 to the headstock. And then I went through my usual fretting process where I bend the fret wire and I check it with my fret radius gauge that I make and sell over at squaretools.com, and, do all the boring fretwork that I've showed in many videos. If you don't know how to do that, here I'll put a link to some other fretting videos that you can watch here. I recently made a matching set of 4-string bass guitar necks, one with graphite reinforcement and one without, because I was curious to see if it really made that much of a difference, and it didn't really on the 4-string, but on the 5-string there's a lot more tension going on, so I definitely wanted to put some graphite reinforcement, which you could see in there next to the standard 2-way truss rod. And those little bands are a StewMac product that are not necessarily the best way. They're a little bit slow for gluing fingerboards on, but I like them and use them, and some other clamps as well. And then also when I CNC my necks now, I don't actually finish them all the way on the CNC router. I leave a little bit of a lip, so after I glue the fingerboard on, I can just sort of work it all together as one piece, which is quick work with a rasp, make some checks, see how everything looks, and then start sanding. I've been pretty into this Natural Earth Paint Natural Varnish specifically for necks and fingerboards, although I do use it on bodies sometimes. It's pretty eco-friendly and it gives a nice sort of old world varnish type feel. And on these instruments I wanted to keep the natural wood looking color and sheen, so I used some furniture butter, and that's not sponsored. And of course after putting the frets in, I do have to level and crown them all, which again I put that link. I show this stuff in more detail in many other videos. I'll also put a link here to a video where I show some handmade versions of tools that I have to help save some money so you don't have to go buy all the expensive stuff to do this work. Some stuff you can really rig up on your own that work pretty much just as well. I really dig this 5-string pickup I wound, and I showed a little bit of it in the other video. It sounds monstrous, and of course I had to run a ground to the bridge. This giant bridge just barely fit on the instrument without hanging off the edge. And here's one of my favorite uses for the center square, is just to find the place to put the strap holder. Instead of having to measure and find the center or guess and be off, I can just squeeze the edge of the instrument and use an awl and find the center of it. It's like little things like that that make the center square really valuable to me, which you can get at squaretools.com, of course. And now it's just a matter of setting this all up, but you'll notice this is a 5-string bass, and the tuner, one of them has to be upside down. And so I don't know if you knew this or not, but on these sort of elephant ear style tuners, you can, with one screw, you can take it apart and just flip the whole thing upside down. So there really is no left side or right side with this style of tuner. You can buy whatever you want, whatever the deal works best, and just make them fit your build needs. The Gotha style tuners, the smaller ones, are not the same. You do have to get left and right for those. Not as easy to switch. On my guitars, I used to always recess the pickguard into the body to make it flush, and I hadn't done that in a while on a couple instruments, but I thought I'd bring it back for this one. I really like the look. Now here's another commercial for my Thunder Laser Fiber Laser. I love this thing, and it's just really good for simple little things like this. Like I added my logo to the top of these chrome knobs that I buy in bulk. Here you can see how it happens and how fast it happens. That's real time. And that just not only gives me a little bit of specific branding for my instrument, but it also is functional as I use an arrow for my logo, and it gives you something to visually see as you spin the knob on the instrument for your settings. Now with the frets all crowned and everything set, all I have to do is carve out a nut behind my 0 fret and put some strings on it, and it should just be pretty much ready to play right out of the box with a few minor adjustments to the bridge for string height and intonation. And in both these cases it was, and I think that's a testament to me getting better at fretting than I used to be. Except I had this bass bridge on hand, and so I was like, great, I'll just do one with black hardware. I bought the hardware to match, and then I realized that this is a much smaller string spacing, so it doesn't quite line up with the pickup. It still works good, but I went and bought a larger bridge that is designed to fit the string spacing, which should hopefully cover, maybe even use, the holes that I already put in there. So we'll put this thing on. I wasn't able to use the pre-existing holes on the bass from the other bridge. They were just spaced out a little bit different, but fortunately I was able to put this on without it interfering with those holes and still covering them. So I just filled the holes in with a little bit of a bamboo chopstick and then covered it up with this new bridge. Now the strings lined up over the poles better. So let's have a look at these before we hear them. I really am pleased with the proportions of the instrument. It stays true to the Lutz bass style of the 4-string, but it looks okay as a 5-string. And I thought it might make more sense to do a 3-in-2 headstock, but I really like the 4-in-line headstock on the original bass, so I just kept it that way. I like the recessed pickguard. I really love the pickup, which has a coil tap, so when you flip the switch, just the front half of the pickup is on, like a single coil, and it's very P-bassy, and then you can switch it so it's a humbucker and very full sounding, and I also like the sort of reversed neck plate. Now let's have a listen. Yeah, I'm tired of my playing too. Fortunately, my friend Prince Porter stopped by and he played these for me as well.
Yeah.
And he's out gigging with him right now to see how it holds up under pressure. Here's a little clip of him playing a live show a couple weeks back. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is, I've got a lot of basses going on right now. I'm a bass player. I'm making basses for customers. I'm making them for my store, and I'm making them for you to watch here over on my YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy that, and if you do, thank you very much for sticking around. Let everybody know. You can go see these basses for sale over at newperspectivesmusic.com if you're interested. Most of them aren't listed yet, but some of them are and will be. They're all coming down the pike, and they will be available in that store, or you can contact me directly to discuss either, buying one of these or me making you a custom bass for you. But what I'm really excited about what's coming up next is I have a bunch of other of my Apiron basses that I've got going in the works. I'm going to be showing you some of the processes going on there. None of them are done yet, but they're all getting there. And I'm also making a really cool semi-hollow arch top for a client that I'm going to film and share with you here because it is bass season. Be good.